Hello, Professor Toybox here along with Agent P, and today I'm going to start implementing Agent P's missions. There are 5 of them in total, and the game will randomly pick one whenever you visit this console in Agent P's lair. I'll deal with the random selection in my final episode in this series, but for now I'm just going to build the missions one at a time, and for each mission I'll set up a button that we can use to start it and test it out. So once again, I've already taken the liberty of placing the Creativitoys that I'm going to need to save a little bit of time. And we've put down our button, which will be temporary, that we'll use to start this mission so we can test it out. And in order to not hook this button up to everything, because when we do the random generation, we're going to have to hook that up to the same stuff, instead, I'm going to hook the button up to this logic gate, and then I'll hook the logic gate up to everything. And then when we do the random generation later, we just hook that up to the logic gate as well. So we just need to make one logic connection, and then we'll be finished. But we've got a button and a logic gate, and then up here I've got a target camera, because Agent P is going to be down in his lair, and he's not going to know what mission has been selected, so we need to tell them, and we'll use a target camera to give them a visual of what it is that we expect the player to do. And I've got a bunch of locators spread around the rooftop, as you can see, and the placement of those isn't quite so important. This one will be. This is eventually going to sit underneath that button, but for right now I've set it off to the side to make it easier to select. And we have a button that we're going to use to turn off MODOK's weather machine. And this you'll find under the Gameplay Toys drawer. Oops, wrong button. I meant to pick it up. So that's where you'll find that in the Gameplay Toys drawer, assuming you have the Avengers 2.0 playset and you've used that to unlock this toy. So I'll place that back. And then I've also got 2 radar markers, an enemy wave generator, and a friend generator. And those are all the toys that we're going to need in order to build this quest. And we also have, that we put down earlier, the collection pen. And on the collection pen, all we have to do with this is come into the properties and turn on this flag to remove the counted actor. And that's all we have to do with the collection pen. Alright, so to get started, we'll go ahead and hook up this button, which we'll use to test this. And I'm going to do a new logic connection when pressed. We'll do an input into this logic gate. And now the logic gate needs to do a bunch of things, but before we do that, let's go ahead and set some things up top. So the first thing we're going to do is set up this radar marker over here. And I'm going to do a new locator connection, because we want to guide the player to this button. So we're going to connect up to this locator. And then in the properties for this, I'm going to set the beacon type to be a yellow arrow. Beacon location needs to be the locator. And the rest of those settings are fine. Okay. And then now that we've done that, we can go ahead and move this locator underneath the button. For this radar marker, this will be the player's second objective. I'm going to connect that up with a new actor connection, and we're going to connect that to the friend generator as our actor. And on the properties for this radar marker, beacon type, once again, will be a yellow arrow. And I'm using yellow. Yellow is usually for the primary quest, but since this toy box is large enough that the player is going to be starting over in Agent P's lair, if I use blue, none of the radar markers will show up on the radar. So I want that to happen, so that's why we're using yellow. It tells the player where to go when they leave his lair. The locator is what we need for the beacon location, and once again all of these properties are fine. And on the friend generator, which we're going to use to generate Dr. Doofenshmirtz, we'll come into the properties, and all we need to do is set the behavior, and I could set it to stand still, but I'm going to set it to laugh. So he's having fun up here with his Freezinator device. And that's good enough. And by the way, the mission that we're building here is the one in which Dr. Doofenshmirtz has invented a Freezinator, which is MODOK's weather maker here. Will be our stand-in for the Freezinator. And Dr. Doofenshmirtz wants to make it snow in the summer, thereby ruining everyone's summer vacation. So Agent P has to shut down the device using this button and then capture Dr. Doofenshmirtz. So that's the mission we're building, by the way. Don't think I mentioned that earlier. So the last thing we want to set up here is the enemy wave generator. So we're going to use some new locator connections, and I'm going to connect that to some of the locators around the rooftop here. We're going to put 5 enemies up here to make this kind of an exciting battle. And I meant to do most of these ahead of time, so apologize for that. But fortunately, the locators are all pretty close, so this goes really quick. And by the way, on the friend generator, we need to do a new locator connection as well and connect up to this one. Alright, on the enemy wave generator, we'll configure the wave. And again, we'll use some of the robots from Stitch's Tropical Rescue, and I'm going to use this collection unit here. And I'll set the count on that to 5. And then under the properties, all we need to do here is take the generation delay to 0. And then the last thing we'll set up is the camera, and then we can start connecting everything. So we'll do a new locator connection first, and I'm going to connect that up to this locator here. That'll be our camera target. And then under the camera properties, start transitions fine. We're going to use a defined duration of 5 seconds. The rest of these are fine. Glow through will turn off. Camera target needs to be the connected locator. And all the rest of these are fine. Okay, so when the mission is kicked off, whether we do it from our button here temporarily or from the random generation in the layer, it's going to come through this logic gate. So this logic gate is what starts the mission, and it needs to do 5 things. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll do a new logic connection on output. We're going to come up to the enemy wave generator first and generate the wave. Get that started. Second thing we'll do on the logic gate is a new logic connection on output. I want it to come up to the friend generator and put Dr. Doofenshmirtz in here. And you'll find him underneath the toy box category. And we have to scroll down a little bit. There he is. Alright, the next thing we want to do, new logic connection on output from the logic gate. We're going to come up to the radar marker, the first one here that's under the button, and we're going to activate that one because that's the first place the player needs to go. And the next thing we'll do, a new logic connection on output. I want to come up to MODOK's weather machine, and we want to activate that. So that'll make the snow start. And then once we've done all that, on the logic gate, a new logic connection on output. The final thing this will do is connect to the camera and activate it so that the player can see what's happening and get an idea of where this is so they know where to go. Okay, so that gets the mission underway. Now, the next stage of the mission happens when the player gets up here and pushes this button. This is the button that will kind of wrap the rest of this up. And so on the button, we'll do a new logic connection when pressed. And the first thing we're going to do is turn off this radar marker. And the second thing we'll do is turn on the other one. New logic connection when pressed. Turn on this one, which will be over Dr. Doofenshmirtz, to let the player know they have to deal with him. And then the third thing, which is kind of the whole point of the button from the player's standpoint, when pressed we need to deactivate the Snowmaker, the weather machine. Okay, so then the radar marker shows up over Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and the player has to pick him up and go deliver him to the police at the collection pen. And that's where they'll put him. Now, when they do that, then because we set the property on the collection pen to remove the counted actor, that means that actor, Dr. Doofenshmirtz, will be destroyed. And so on the friend generator, we'll use this to wrap up the entire quest. And so on the friend generator, we'll do a new logic connection. When the generated toy is defeated, we're going to come over to this radar marker and deactivate it. And on the friend generator, new logic connection, when the generated toy is defeated, we'll come over to our sound effect generator and play our end of mission flourish, which is under the musical category fanfare. And the last thing we'll have the friend generator do, new logic connection when the generated toy is defeated. Come over to our action enforcer and we'll have the players celebrate because they've finished the mission. Okay, and that should be everything. Just double check my notes. All the properties are set on everything. So that's it. And the nice thing is, with the way the properties are set and everything, we can test this mission as many times as we want. So I don't necessarily need to save the toy box first. So to start the mission, temporarily, we'll push the button. And that shows us what's happening. And then we'll go ahead and head up on the building and deal with it. And Doofenshmirtz is... he kind of wandered around a little bit. That's interesting. I'll pick up my sparks here. Like something smacked him. But we'll use that to turn off the weather machine so we can see that worked, and the radar marker over top of the button disappeared. It should have appeared over top of Doofenshmirtz. Interesting. Okay. Well, go ahead and deliver him to police headquarters to wrap this up, and then we can test it again after we look at it. So for this, we just come over here. We can toss him in, or it's easier to just drop him in. Okay, so mission accomplished. So now let's go take a look and see what it is that happened. I'm wondering if maybe this locator here is a little too close to that weather machine. So let's move this over a little bit. And pushing that button should have activated this. Let's double check that. Pressed should have activated it. And that is connected up to the friend generator as an actor. Huh. That should have worked. Well, we can try it again. Just to see what's what. So that first radar marker is there. And this time Doofenshmirtz hasn't moved. So yeah, I think he was too close to that weather machine. Nice easy little battle. So we'll push the button, turns that off. It's not turning on the radar marker for Doofenshmirtz though. Well, I'll have to take a look at that. I'm going to go offline for a moment and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I see what I did wrong. You probably caught it watching the video earlier, but under the radar marker, under the properties, I set the beacon location to a locator. That should have been the connected actor. So that's why the radar marker is not showing up. So that should fix that. And I also noticed I'm missing my other police car down here. Not sure what happened with that, so I'm going to pick this up, put it down, and put my other police car back over here. That might have gotten destroyed when I was testing the quest for Meep. Alrighty, so let's go ahead one more time and try it out. We push the button. Everything starts up on the rooftop. And we'll head up there. I'm going to pick up all my sparks. I was pressing the button, but it wasn't shooting his hat. Okay, so now we push the button. Now we have a radar marker. So that's what I wanted. Forget to set one property. But that's easy enough to fix. Just a matter of finding it. And there we go. Mission accomplished. So that's Agent P's first mission. Each mission is a short, simple mission because I wanted to make it as easy as possible for you to build the activities in this toy box. So I don't want to do anything too involved or too complicated. Next time I'll build the mission to stop Dr. Doofenshmirtz's robot army from stealing all of the lawn gnomes in the tri-state area. Until then, I want to thank you for watching my video today, and I hope you're enjoying this series so far. I love reading your comments, and I appreciate when you take the time to do that, so please leave a comment before you go and let me know what you think of this mission. And if you are enjoying my Disney Infinity videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking my photo in the lower right corner. Also, if you want to build this mission in your own toy box, stop by my blog where you'll find a logic diagram that can help you out. That's all for me today. See you next time.